we're going to learn about rotations, which is another transformation. What I don't want you to forget is that transformations always remain congruent. So if you have a pentagon or you have a triangle and you move it from one place to another on the coordinate plane, depending on how you move it, if you translate it, if you reflect it, or if you rotate it, the size and the shape will never change. They will always be congruent. So if you move it from one place to another, they are automatically congruent. And that's something that you need to know. So if you're told that a shape was translated, then you automatically know that that shape is congruent to the shape it was located at prior to its move. So that's very important, and that's actually one of the main themes of transformations. Rotations. Let's start with rotations. Rotations are the ones that get a little bit tricky, but if you just follow along, it's really not that bad. So let's say I rotate. I'm going to do another triangle here. So we'll do triangle A, B, and C. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And I'm going to rotate this triangle about the origin, which is right here. So I'm going to take and I want to rotate this around, kind of like the moon orbits around the Earth. We're going to orbit triangle ABC around this point, which is the origin, the very middle of the coordinate plane. And one easy way to show you is I will take this point and I will rotate 90 degrees. But before I do that, I'm going to write down my original coordinates. So A is 3, 3. B is 2, 1. And C is 5, 1. Okay, so next I'm going to take and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume now that this is my X and this is my Y and this is my X. So I'm now going to write the coordinates as if that was the case. So this is going to be, these are all the positives, these are all the negatives. So for A, and I'm going to actually just write it this way, my new coordinate for A, and that's actually going to be A prime because it's the first move we've made, is going to be positive 3, negative 3. B is going to be 1, negative 2. And C is going to be 1, negative 5. Or C prime is 1, negative 5. All right, now I'm going to translate it again. So I'm going to go another 90 degrees. So that means I've rotated 180 degrees from where I started. So I originally started up in quadrant 1, and now I've rotated to quadrant 3 clockwise. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at it as if it's a, if this is the Y, these are the positive numbers, these are the negative numbers, these are the negative numbers on the X, and these are the positive numbers, just like you normally would look. So we're going to say, okay, well, this is negative 2, negative 1 is B, but I need to tell you what A is first. So for A, we're going to go negative 3, negative 3. So A prime prime is going to be negative 3, negative 3. And then B is going to be, or B prime prime, because that means it's our second move, negative 2, negative 1. And C prime prime is going to be negative 5, negative 1. All right. Well, let's take a look at what we've done thus far. Okay, let's just take a look. So we started here, we rotated 90 degrees, and then another 90 degrees to rotate 180 degrees, and we marked our coordinates along the way. So just to make this look a little bit easier to read, we start here with, let's just take A 3, 3. A prime, so that's after 90 degrees of a rotation, and that said 3, negative 3. That was after 90 degrees clockwise. And then A prime prime was negative 3, negative 3. Well, if you take a look here, and that was 180 degrees, you might see a pattern. When I rotated 90 degrees, this is the X, this is the Y value changed. So the Y value changed to its opposite. When I rotated 180 degrees, both the X and the Y value, they changed their signs as well. So that's something that we're going to be talking a lot more about in class. We're going to learn these rules. We're going to learn what counterclockwise is, what clockwise is. But this is just a way to kind of get you started and gives you a way to actually find those coordinates easily before you learn how to use the rules that we're going to probably memorize. So that's rotations, and remember with rotations that when you rotate a figure on the coordinate plane, that figure, the pre-image and the image are always going to be congruent.